Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, let's get into the analysis portion of this video on this Monday, March 18th, 2013. Right now, the markets are trading slightly lower, even though we're well off the lows. S&P still down 2 points. Dow is now up 7 points, and the NASDAQ is basically flat on the day. Couple interesting little factors today. Apple. AAPL is bucking the trend today, up $11.50. You can see I scalped it right in here. A little bit of a scalp showing up on my screen. I made about $1.50 on that trade there. Not too shabby at all. But overall, folks, bottom line is this chart, again, continues to rally up. I gave it to members here in InTheMoneyStocks.com down here at the 420 level. All right, this is the master level. I kept on showing. I even talked about this in the free video. I mean, if you just watch these videos, you got this exact entry. Take a look at this entry, folks. I mean, this entry is 1 in a million, nailing the exact low on Apple. And sure enough, Apple since then has bucked the trend beautifully, reverberated to the upside, continued to break up. You're now basically, for those of us that picked that trade up, you're basically $35 in the money, which is like 8+% so far off the lows. And again, as if that's not enough to be 8% in the money, basically, but think about it like this: exact lows. Everyone else was trying to buy Apple as it was falling. We picked the exact low right there. And again, now you just have a break-even stop, take half off the table, and let the rest run. I mean, very simple. Very, very simple today. All right, going a couple other charts out there. Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY gapping down today dramatically, as you can see right here on the back of the Cyprus news. Now, what's so important about the Cyprus news? Why is that important? Well, basically, Cyprus said that they're going to take or tax 9.9% of any deposit account. That means if you put your money in any bank in Cyprus, they're going to take 9.9% of 100,000 or over, and 6.6, I believe, of anything under. That means even if you had $10,000 in an account over there, they're still going to take 6.6% as a tax. And that's for people who are saving. And that's tremendously crazy to think about the precedents that sets. I mean, think about it right now. What if you had your bank account where you had $25,000 saved, your savings account, and the government came along and said, yeah, we're going to take 6%, 7% of that. Bam. All right, so that's punishing the savers, the people who actually were not spending, that did not get into this mess. Amazing type thought process there. And the scary thing about it is it sets a precedence for bank runs. And bank runs, I mean, blows my mind how anyone could come up with this idea and put it into play. Because bank runs now, everyone in Cyprus is running to the ATMs, and the ATMs are out of money because they're all trying to remove their money. And if that happens in other, and the worry, and this is why the markets collapsed earlier and overnight, is because people thought, well, maybe there's going to be runs in Greece, in Spain, in Italy, because people think they're going to do this same thing. Now, I think for the most part, people are saying, well, I don't think everyone's that crazy to do that over there, just the Cyprus kind of deal. But, I mean, it is definitely a worry out there where at what point can you not touch someone's money? Can you just go in and take them? I mean, even here in the United States, I mean, don't think it didn't cross my mind that at some point I may not want to put all my money in the bank anymore. All right, because who knows? I accumulate a few more $1,000,000 in the bank, and someone comes along and says, I'm going to take 10% of that. The government says, well, we got a lot of debt that we ran up because we spent too much on defense and, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, which, of course, I'm not benefiting from since I'm in my low 30s, and it will be gone by the time, I'm a realist, it's going to be gone by the time I'm to that age. So they're going to come right in and say, well, I'll take 10% anyways. We'll take a cool $500,000 from you. No big deal. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, that's why initially the markets got pounded overnight. Futures on the S&P were down like 23 points. But as the market opened up here, people realized that, overall chances are that's going to be an isolated incident, especially because of the reaction in the markets. Most people are going to think that. In addition, I think money flow from Europe is now coming to the U.S. So people are scared to have their money in banks in Europe, right? In Greece, in Cyprus, in Italy, and all these other places. So where's that money going to go? Well, it's got to go somewhere. So why not the United States of America? So money flow coming over here, and I think that's part of it as well, which is why the markets here in the U.S. are really not doing too badly. Now we are seeing a little bit of a downtick here. Markets again are still negative. You can see a beautiful little double top. Scalping wise, there's been some great little scalps out there. And again, just to note here, you have a little nice little double top, or I should say topping tail right there. That's actually where I played the VXX because I scalped the VXX using that as my shorting ability. Since I figured I'd get bigger bang for the buck out of that, but I shorted right off of this topping tail as we pulled back down as well on the VXX. I utilized that by going long the VXX, and spiders pulled back beautifully. Now we just double topped right there. 200 MA and gap fill is your next spot. You can draw a trend line right there, and that's your next target area short term, okay? So that's what we have going on there. I mentioned Apple is strong. Really, Apple's the big, strong one. We also have Chevron's up 6 cents. But aside from that, most other plays are weak. Financials continue to be very weak. Goldman's off its lows, but still down $2.20. And obviously, this is a banking issue because the banks are weaker because they've had such a big run. And then if you think about it in terms of depositors pulling out their money, all these banks have far reaches. So if bank runs occur in Europe, it obviously will have some sort of impact on U.S. banks because the U.S. banks are invested there and they have stakes in what goes on there. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. So that's why you see a little weakness in the financials today. We also have some weakness in Google, down about $5 today. Baidu, which gapped lower and sold sharply initially, actually had a great bounce here today and is now up 50 cents. Look at the daily chart. So you broke down on Friday below, but you never confirmed below this low. Obviously, a breakdown has to be confirmed, and therefore you've reversed here to the upside nicely. This chart's not horrible as long as it doesn't confirm. If you confirm below the low from Friday, then that's where you really start to think that there'll be continued downside. Eventually, Baidu will go lower, but in the meantime, I don't think it's going to go that low. Okay? The other chart I want to mention to you guys is this chart of JJC, which is the copper ETF. Really amazing drop today on copper. And, to talk about an index that usually leads the market, the copper chart usually is a leading index, and that's not the case at all. As you can see, copper getting hammered again, absolutely hammered. And what's scary about this chart is that you have a head and shoulders pattern development right here. Now, the target for a bounce, and I'm going to swing trade this as a bounce when it hits this level right here, because if you draw this trend line right across, there's going to be a nice little area right there, but right in this area is where you're looking for a bounce. But eventually this head and shoulder will break, and you can see this head and shoulder right here. Tremendously scary head and shoulders, because if it does break, you're going to see copper back all the way down to here on this chart. That's a big, big drop. And if that happens, I mean, you can just guess where the economy is globally should we head back down there. Now, again, I think that's down the line quite a ways, but it's just something we want to be prepared for and aware of, where when we break that neckline, that's when it triggers. As long as it doesn't break that neckline, there's no target. I mean, you don't even talk about a target until it breaks the neckline of the head and shoulders, but I think it is important to recognize that you do have that pattern intact. It just hasn't triggered yet. So we'll keep an eye on that as well, folks. I think it's very important to kind of notice that pattern. Let's go back to the spiders. Just talk about a few other things here. SPY just continuing to hover here. I actually expect the spiders to most likely float neutral to positive. I do think you see a little bit of selling into the end of the day, though. Last 30 minutes, maybe last hour of selling. Not to take us down to the lows again, maybe just a small pullback, because I think that overnight people are going to worry something else will come out of Europe and they'll take profits. So again, one of the trades I'm thinking about that I'll leave you with into the end of this video is to possibly, if the markets push up a little bit more, short it in the last hour of trading and look for that sell into the close type event. Not a big sell, but just enough to make some good cash into the close. Maybe 30 cents, 15, 20, 25 cents on the SPY type thing as it pulls down. Obviously take half off, put a break even stop kind of thing. All right, guys, that's what we're looking at today. Come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Come take the 7-day free trial. Learn the PPT methodology that allows us to profit on every move, just like we always do. We had some trades out there today. I'll give you guys an idea. OXY, nice fall, down $1.10 today. We're short this. IBM, down 88 cents. We're short this. And SDS, which, again, is 2 times short SPY, we were short as well. I mean, all these type of plays, just understanding risk reward and managing PPT methodology and enjoying the profits that it gives us. And I encourage you to come here to In the Money Stocks and join us, learn these techniques, and profit for life. All right, folks, take care. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you soon.